Coach, I'll open with a comment. Raise your hand. Keep them up for me for a second.
Everybody. Well, first of all, make a comment about practice. We did get to go outside a couple days, which was really good. The footing wasn't great, but the weather was pretty good. The field sort of got tore up so bad we thought we needed to go back inside. But preparation, continues to go well. We're going to move up practice tomorrow, practice a little earlier, so the players can get out of here and actually take a 3-day break before we depart for Miami on the 24th, early in the morning, and we'll practice down there. I think practice is going well. We're getting what we need to get out of practice. I know this is tough on the players when you practice this many days on a row, but when we've done it where we spread it out more so they get rest in between, that just kind of grinds on you mentally. So they've had a good attitude about it, and we've done a pretty good job in terms of the coaches being able to get some of the implementation that we need to get ready for this game. Oklahoma, obviously, like we talked about before, is a really challenging team in a lot of ways. We got a great offensive team, and they score a lot of points, and their defense seems to be able to make plays when they need to. So, we're really pleased with the signing today. We were able to add 22 players, to the roster. We still have a few more that may come in. We do have some additional numbers that we can take, guys, so don't do your calculations and scare off everybody else that we're going to recruit for February, because we do have spots left, and there are good players out there that we're very much interested in and are interested in us. But I think our staff, coaches, did a really good job. Recruiting cycle goes over a long period of time, and we got a lot of great relationships with a lot of really good players. I think we satisfied a lot of needs on our team, and I think that you never know. I always talk about this. Exactly how guys are going to develop, what their mindset's going to be, and actually if they turn out to be everything that you want them to, just like when you buy a puppy dog, just because he has big feet don't mean he's going to be the biggest dog in the neighborhood. So we know that we're happy with the guys that we got, and we want to help them develop, but I think we did a good job early on of developing relationships with a lot of good players.
Okay, Coach, we'll start over here on the right with Ben.
I know the early signing period isn't your favorite thing in the world, but do you feel like you guys have found a way to make it work to your advantage in some ways?
Well, look, if it's better for the players, I'm good with it. We're playing an SEC championship game. We lose a week of recruiting. We only have 2 weeks on the road. We're playing in the playoffs. We're trying to get ready for a game. We're practicing today, and it's signing day. We practiced yesterday. It's the day before signing day. As predicted, this is becoming the signing day. Just like we all predicted when they made an early signing day. It's not an early signing day, it's the signing day. It's when more and more players are signing. So it accelerates the recruiting cycle. You got more guys visiting in the season. We have such great things here at Alabama. We love it. We love it when people visit when we don't have a game. We want them to come to a game. We want them to develop relationships with people. People academically, people who are going to help them develop and be successful as people, character, attitude, thoughts, habits, priorities, career development. There's a lot of things that we try to do to create value for players that when people visit during the season, it's really hard to get those relationships. But it is what it is, and we're trying to make it work the best we can.
Coach in the middle on the left, Michael.
What did you learn from last year, the first time doing the early signing period? You're able to apply to this season with the second early signing?
Well, I think we figured out that you need to get ahead on more players, that more and more players are going to make this their signing date. So you got to start the process earlier. You got to get more players in here earlier. Got to develop relationships with them. I I think that's what we did a little better. I think last year we sort of tried to save more spots for guys that didn't sign early. And then, you know, with all the coaching turnover we had, we lost a lot of relationships with those guys, and I think it hurt us in the end. So, you know, this year we were probably a little more aggressive.
Back to Cecil.
Coach, you signed 2 quarterbacks in this class. You like signing 2. You got one who's out working in practice, and can you give a comment on those, Paul and Talia?
Well, we were excited about both guys. I mean, you know, there's 2 really good quarterbacks here in the state. I mean, there's other good quarterbacks too, but we were happy with the 2 we got. They were both very productive. They got great character. They got a lot of potential. You know, Talia had a lot of success, led his team to the state finals. I know he was banged up at the end of the year and didn't work out, but had some great games where, you know, he led his team coming from behind, so we're excited about him. And, you know, Paul has been in a very successful program and been very productive and great character, and we're just happy that we got both guys here. I think that we should have at least 4 quarterbacks on scholarship. 5 is okay too, and, you know, we're kind of in the ballpark now.
Coach, we'll go ahead in the middle with John Zener.
Philosophically, how do you decide when to go after players kind of outside the geographical region? And how important is some of that success for places like California and Hawaii into the program?
Well, we've obviously had, you know, a lot of good players from a lot of different places, and, you know, once they get here, we never seem to look at their mailing address to, you know, figure out whether we're going to play them or not play them or how they're going to develop. That doesn't really have anything to do with it. It's all about who they are and how we try to manage and help them sort of develop. But, you know, I think we've done a pretty good job of, look, we have a system of evaluation that we use on players from, and it doesn't matter where they are. I mean, if they meet the criteria for what we're looking for in a position, and we have, you know, defined criteria that we're looking for at each position and critical factors that we look for, and when guys have them, we start recruiting them. And, you know, there's a lot of people that are interested in our program, and I think we have a program that's created a lot of value for a lot of players in the past because we have a very high graduation rate. The most players that graduate in 3.5 years of any school in the country, and we have, you know, a lot of guys that do extremely well career-wise, whether it's in the NFL or outside in other areas. So we do create a lot of value. We invest a lot in the players, and I think a lot of these guys recognize that, and that's why they're interested.
On the right with Charlie.
How much of a priority was it just to add a lot of depth on defense, especially along the defensive line and the secondary?
Well, I think it was a very high priority, you know, in all positions, and it's going to continue to be a priority as we continue to recruit. But, you know, we lost a lot of players in the last 2 years. We probably haven't replaced them as quickly as we lost them. So, you know, now we're trying to, and I think, you know, a lot of these players see the opportunity that they have because of that. So, you know, that was very important.
Stay on this side with Mark.
I wanted to ask you about Saban Smith. How have you seen him grow throughout the year and then sort of morph into that defensive player?
Saban's done a really nice job for us. You know, I think that, you know, when he focuses on what he's supposed to do and has good eye control, plays with discipline, he's, you know, plays extremely well. And that has improved throughout the course of the year, and that has been very helpful in helping him become a very good player and a very productive player for us.
Stay over here with Tony. Got a couple more.
I was just going to ask about your thoughts on the offensive line class that you were able to bring in this year. It seems like you brought in a lot of offensive linemen.
Well, we're going to lose quite a bit, I think, and I think it was important to, you know, have a good class in that area as well, and I think we were able to, you know, to do that. So, you know, we never know for sure right now, you know, exactly, you know, this guy's going out early for the draft, and, you know, we've always managed that when guys are high picks and all that. I think to try to get them good information so they can make business decisions, but We never know for sure, you know, exactly what our needs are going to be because of that. And that can have a significant impact on how it impacts your team for next year. And it seems like every year more and more guys are going out early for the draft. You know, my disposition is I think there was like 118 guys that went out early for the draft last year, and something like 18 first round, 14 second round. So that adds up to 32 guys that really legitimately should have gone out, you know, philosophically. So how many guys is that? Like 80-some guys that would be in this year's draft that aren't. All right, so this becomes a cycle of more guys going out, but yet there's guys that got drafted in the third round last year that would be the first guy picked at their position this year, and they would make a significant amount more money. And, you know, those kinds of things you hate to see for your players because they can never make it up.
Coach, we'll wrap up with Alex.
Two questions, Nick. What impressed you about Will Reichert that made you want to kind of bring him in, even when you have some other kickers on the roster?
Well, I think the guy's a really talented guy. I mean, you know, he's a really good person, hard worker, really good specialist in all regards. You know, he can punt. He's a really good kicker. He's had great production as a young player. So, you know, and you know, we looked at it as a chance to improve our team, you know, in that area.
And given kind of the recruiters that the staff overhaul that you made in the offseason, kind of the youth, the energy you brought to the recruiting, with the recruiters there, how much of was last year's fifth place finish kind of a focus this offseason to overhaul that and become the #1 team again?
Well, look, you know, we had a lot of coaches on the staff last year that were here for a long time. You know, we lost a lot of coaches and were able to replace them with guys that were good recruiters. So that's always a priority when we hire somebody, because I think it's really important to have great relationships and have a lot of energy and enthusiasm and realize the importance of recruiting as a coach. If you don't have good players, you're probably not going to have a lot of success. So I've been very pleased with this staff. I wasn't ever disappointed in any other staff that we had in what we did. Most of the time when we don't get players, I feel like it's as much my fault as it is anybody's, because I'm the leader of the organization, and you want to have an organization that attracts the people. I think that, you know, players don't come to a school just because of one guy. It has a lot to do with the position coach, other coaches that they develop relationships with, other people in your organization, whether it's academic folks, medical staff, people in the strength and conditioning program. I mean, all these things I think are important to players when it comes to their development. So all these people contribute, and everybody's got to realize the importance of recruiting. And I do think that our staff this year did a really, really good job at this point.
All right, Coach, thanks. That's all we got.
Thank you. Oh, one other thing, you know, I don't know, is this my last time?
It is.
So I'll be sad till when?
Until we get to Miami, until we land in Miami. Yeah.
How many days is that? I don't know if I can survive.
It's about 5 days. It'll be a struggle for you.
Yeah, it will be. But I just want to wish everyone a very happy holiday, you know, season. I mean, there's a lot of things that a lot of people do to make other people have a little cheer and happiness at this time of the year, regardless of how you choose to celebrate the holidays. But I know we have a lot of fans, a lot of people that support the program out there, a lot of you who certainly do a lot to reinforce, you know, all that our players do and give them a lot of positive self-gratification for what they do. So I just want to wish everybody a very happy holiday season. So thank you.